So do you guys remember that a while ago when I reached 500 subscribers, I have announced that I would bring Patreon so that way you guys will be able to support my channel? Well, sadly to say, Patreon has been canceled. But I got in another thing that will surprise to you guys. Ta-da! Instead of making a Patreon, I decided to make a Streamlabs page where any one of you guys can actually go in and support my channel, donate money. The minimum you can actually give out is a euro or $1, however you want to give out, and the recommended is $5. But I'm not gonna be asking for you guys for too much money. Don't worry, I'm not a greedy asshole. What's more is that the Bleach Soul Resurrection Let's Play livestream is going to be coming on Sunday. I will be scheduling that soon for when I'm going to be able to do it, so you should be able to see it right through my YouTube page for when it's going to be live and whatnot. And one more thing, tomorrow, well actually it's going to be today by the time I upload the video, but today I'm also going to be reacting to the Bankai livestream with my guildmates. So you guys will be able to come catch us watching the Bankai livestream in its entirety. I'll have it scheduled for when it's gonna be live. So look forward to that. Anyways, this has been your boy the Death Smasher. Enjoy the video. What is going on, guys? It's your boy the Death Smasher, and I'm finally back again with another tier list. It's been about almost 20 days since I last did it, which was on Tech. And this time, we are going to be ranking every single one of these speed characters into this tier list. So the tier list is basically going to be the same as last time. S being God tier, A being amazing tier, B being usable, single player and co-op only, C being usable in the single player plus single player only aspects for Inheritance Zone and Droplet Zone, D usable only in single player content that is outside of Inheritance Zone and Droplet Zone, and F being completely unusable. So we're just gonna go ahead and start off directly with the older units up until we reach the recent units. So let's just go ahead and get started, guys. So up first we have Frenzy Aizen. This one I'm gonna have to I don't know, man. I'm still gonna have to put him into single player only because he is still a Frenzy character. Well, he has a better multipliers compared to most of the older Frenzy characters. The one problem with this character is the fact that it really stems from the low stats. And this is kind of sad because this is the only Hueco Mundo Aizen that we have in the game. And to be honest, it would be nice if K-Lab can make a summonable version of this Aizen, because I do feel like we need one. Then we have this Rukia, who is by far, in my opinion, one of the worst Frenzy characters in the game. But that being said, she still gets to go on D tier because she still has okay stats and okay multipliers, but that's really it. That's the only thing that keeps her going. So, yeah. Up next, we have Frenzy Kisuke, who was a really good crystal link, mind you, but that being said, he still goes into single player only because he has low stats and multipliers, just like these Frenzy characters. But anyways, now that we've gotten the ticket acquirable free-to-play units out of the way, let's move on with this batch of lists. So, up next we have Soifun. Now, they did resurrect her and make her better, but overall, she still is an OG character, and it's not someone I'd really bring into co-op, so at the very least, she's going to go into C tier. Yoruichi, same thing. They did actually make her better with a resurrection and has a good SP, still has Frenzy, and they gave her recharge. But she's going to still suffer the same fate as Soifun, unfortunately. Kaname, same thing. These are all older characters, really. Like, what were you guys expecting? Like, they didn't really give much increase in terms of Havoc or whatnot. And yeah, this Tosha right here, god awful, god awful, god awful. Like, it's way worse than the power version. Like, this one has no Bruiser, no Berserker, no Sprinter. He is just that awful of a character. Do not use this character. Swimsuit Byakuya, he's gonna go into C tier because he at least has a killer, he has Frenzy, he has a good SP, But really, the only problem that kind of really stems from him is the kit that isn't all that good. Zangetsu, no, Zangetsu on the other hand, I'm still gonna put him up to D tier because he still does have at least a 30% berserker. Even though he has no bruiser, like he still can work for single player. So yeah, that's at least saying a lot, am I right? Now up next we have the OG Rimjow. Unfortunately, he gets to go into single player because the problem with this man is that, okay, he has a good attack stat. He has a really high attack stat. What hinders him a lot though is the fact that he only has a 20% bruiser, and they gave him frenzy with an SP of 600 and something. Like, how the fuck do you fuck up a resurrection for that? Just how? Just tell me how, because this makes no damn sense, because you just needed to give him flurry, and that's it. That would have made this character pretty good for autoing, and poise for that matter, but nope. And he does have a captain killer, so yeah. Now this Kyori, now normally when they do seasonal versions of the older characters, they're kind of usually the same. Not for this character though. They did not give her frenzy. She just has a killer and just okay multipliers. That's it. And okay stats. But other than that, she's pretty much not that good. Nell, on the other hand, good stats, good skills, bad killer. So I'm gonna put her into C tier. Rukia, she's got no frenzy, but she does have killer, but she's an older character, so she goes into D tier. Ian, on the other hand, he is okay, but he's only gonna go as far as to C tier just because of the fact that he has a bad killer. Like, he does have frenzy, but his killer is what kind of really lacks him, unfortunately. Now, Byakuya, before his resurrection, I'd actually put him into F tier. I'd actually put him there because he only had a 20% normal type damage range with a 10% berserker and god-awful stats. But now, he actually gets up to C tier because he is actually pretty good now. He even became a 50-hit vortex for Guild Quest. But that being said, his kit isn't really all that phenomenal. That is the one thing that kind of really hinders him from being up to the top tier leads in Academy Renji. I'm also have to bump him into C tier. Look, guys, these are really old characters. Like, what were you expecting? Like, really? And then up next we have Karin. I'd actually pump her into D tier. She's a metal exchange character. Ashido. They resurrected him, but he's still gonna go into C tier. Parasol Nanao. I'd actually pump her up into B tier. Like, okay, she does not have frenzy, but hold on. She at least has some good stats, good skills. She heals and has medic. Like, that is what really makes her an amazing character, and she just has an overall better kit compared to most of these older characters, which is kind of saying a lot for a healer. Up next, Baby Nell, D tier. What were you guys expecting? Now this Jushiro right here, I'm gonna be honest here. I'd almost pump him up to, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to bump him up into B tier, but only the really easy stuff. Like, you can bring him into co-op just fine because his second strong attack, I believe, has like a really high magnification and basically hits as hard as a special. He has frenzy, he has good stats. The one thing that kind of really hinders him from being a really good unit is the fact that his kit isn't really all that much. But that being said, he is at least going to be useful for co-op for that matter. Hanako, on the other hand, what were you guys expecting? Dangai Ichigo, on the other hand, now when he came out, he was amazing. Alright, I will say that much. He was pretty amazing, but is he usable for co-op? Not really, I'm afraid. Like, don't get me wrong, he's gonna be fun for single player, but I would not bring this character into co-op just because he does not have flurry. He has only a 50% berserker with a 590 SP. He has bombardment, but there's just so much you can do. There's just very little you can do with that stat and multiplier. Like, until they resurrect this Dangai Ichigo, give him flurry, and whatnot and make him a better character, he's gonna stay on to C tier. But that being said, if they decide to give it Flurry, I'd possibly put him onto S tier. I'd actually put him up there, but for now, the way he is, he's just gonna stay up in C tier. At least he's usable, alright? I'm at least giving him the benefit of the doubt. Tag Team Mayuri on the other hand, oh my god, how much I'd like to put him into F tier, but he still has a decent killer. He's got a 20% berserk, 20% strong attack damage linked with a 10% berserker, so I'm still gonna pump him up to D tier. Suzume Bachi on the other hand. Okay, Suzume Bachi, I'm gonna be honest, at first I kind of wanted to put her into F tier because she does not have the highest multipliers, but she has a good attack stat, and she's okay, but she only has a 15% bruiser, so there's literally very little you can do with this Suzume Bachi, so she's only gonna go into D tier. Koga, on the other hand, I pump him up to C tier. Tag Team Rengiku, look, she has double killer, but here's the thing, she does not have frenzy. Look, if she gets frenzy, I'm actually pump her up all the way up to A tier, because she has Hollow and Aronker killer, and she has good stats. But because of the fact that she has no frenzy, she only has a 30% bruiser and a 40% berserker, it really does hinder her into being an excellent character. So for now, she's just gonna stay into D tier. Christmas Hallibell, on the other hand, she's actually a pretty good unit. Like, she has a good kit, she has frenzy. Her stats aren't all that incredible, but that being said, she does take the place for going into B tier. So I'm at least gonna say that much for her. Mashiro, on the other hand, I'm gonna have to put her in C tier, just because of the fact, well, she doesn't have a good kit. She only has very little SP. She does have frenzy and a good attack stat, but there's just very little we can do with this Mashiro, to be honest. Like, if you want a good Mashiro to use, you're better off using the past Mashiro, which is Heart. Broken! I'm gonna be honest here. This Broken really... The only thing... I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He is good for autoing. But is this a character that I would actually bring into co-op? No. Because, look, he lacks Sprinter, okay? Making him really hard to dodge. So I do not recommend bringing Broken at all for co-op. Like, really, he's just one of those characters that were really only made for autoing and PvP, which is saying a lot. That being said, he did have a good run in PvP, but for PvE, he was never really all that good. Ichiru, on the other hand, she has frenzy, she has a good kit, good skills, low stats. So she's at the very least going to go into C tier. Now, if they resurrect her and give her like over 600 SP, I bump her up into B tier, because she is okay as a character, but the way she is right now, I wouldn't really recommend her. Yukio, on the other hand, now, even though he may have a pretty garbage soul trait, this kid is actually somewhat decent. You can actually use him for co-op, and he has Soul Reaper killer and has frenzy, so he's at least gonna get bumped up to B tier pretty easily. Like, there's no questioning about this character. He's pretty old, but overall he's still okay to bring if you want to have fun with his character. Nowadays he's not really summonable anymore, but he's okay in my personal opinion. Ambassador Sweet. Look, guys, he's a middle exchange character. What were you guys really expecting? Like, just tell me. Paslov, I'm gonna have to put him into C tier, just because, okay, he has a good attack stat, but here's the thing, he lacks the same problem as down guy Ichigo, even though he has it slightly better than him and has killer. But here's the problem, he only has a 20% bruiser. So if you give him like 60% normal type damage links, he won't even be able to get up to the 100% increase in normal types, making him that much of a bad character. Like, you're not gonna want to use him into co-op. Yami, on the other hand, Look, don't get me wrong. He has bombardment. He has okay skills. He has okay stats, but here's the thing. He's just not that amazing. Like, there's only very little you can do with this Yami. He only has a 626 SP. His third is a charged strong attack, which does somewhat help him in doing more damage, but the low multipliers really do hinder him, and his strong attack recharge soul trait isn't really justifying it either. So that's all I'm gonna say for this Yami, really. Kaname, on the other hand, I really don't know where to place him, to be honest. Fuck it, C tier, because there isn't really much you can do. He's an okay normal attack damage unit. He has a 40% bruiser, 710 attack, but here's the problem. He lacks a good killer, so not a good character you want to bring into co-op. Now, Sunsun, on the other hand, I'd actually put her up into B tier. Like, she has pretty good stats and skills. Her kit could be better, because she does have a good first and second strong attack, but her third strong attack is very linear. Like, it's not full screen. It's just a simple pushback attack, similar to Quincy Ichigo, but as a third strong attack, which kind of does hinder her, but it is what it is. Now Anniversary Ichigo, I'd actually pump him up all the way up to A tier. Like, he is an okay unit. His kit could actually be way better. Like, he has frenzy, he is ranged. He is one of the very first few characters to have a charged third strong attack, except implemented way better than Yami. And it's just an overall pretty good unit, if I do say so myself. Not the best, but still usable for co-op. Now, this Halibel right here, god awful. She does have bombardment though, but her low stats and skills, her multipliers, they just don't help. She doesn't have frenzy. She has fucking Captain Killer. She is a god awful unit. Tag Team Retsu, on the other hand, she is actually one of the very first good tag team units to have ever come out in the game, and has finally got K-Lab to step up their game. Tag Team Retsu, she has a good first strong attack. Now, granted, it does not fully hit what's in front of her, so it does have some problems, but she has an excellent second strong attack and an excellent third strong attack. That being said, her soul trait is kind of meh. She does have 25% stamina recovery, but however, this Retsu deserves to take the place into S tier. She is that much of a good unit. Salapro, good unit, A tier. Now, that being said, he does not have a piercing normal attack damage string, but the thing that makes him really good is the fact that he can heal and boost. Now, he does not have Enhancer, so it only lasts 10 seconds, but it's still more than any, it's still really good. Like, what can go wrong about this character? Like, okay, he's been way too common nowadays, and a lot of banners, a lot of people are actually sick of pulling him, but he's an actually okay character. I won't lie. That would actually bump him up to A tier. 1000-Year Blood War Shroom 3. Easily S tier. Like, this character is almost 2 years old at this point. But that being said, even though he does not have any status ailments and has a 737 SP, don't let that shit fool you. He's got an amazing fuck kit. His first strong attack being a really good lounge and covers a lot of range. Second strong attack having a really high magnification with a chance to insta-killing enemies. And his third being full screen. And his special has an insta-kill mechanic, making him that good. Really good. Halloween Orihime, on the other hand, I'm gonna have to put her in for A tier. She's not the best. That being said, she does have debilitating weakening on everything, but on second thought, I'm gonna have to put her into S tier because she is actually pretty good. She's got debilitating weakening. She's got a Ronker killer. She's got a pretty good kit. Charge third, strong attack. She's pretty good, if I do say so myself. I kind of changed my mind. I forgot how good this Orihime was. Ganryu, on the other hand, he is actually the very first ever good normal attack damage unit that I'd actually bring into co-op. Like he is one of the very first characters to have a 50% bruiser with a normal attack damage link of 20%. So where am I gonna bump him up? I'm gonna have to bump him up into A tier because I put him into S tier, but however, the one thing about him, it stems from the fact that his kit doesn't have great crowd control. He doesn't. Only his second and third strong attack have debilitating paralysis, and his special doesn't inflict anything, nor does his first strong attack. So if they gave him a bit more stuff, I'd actually put him up to S tier, but the way he is, I'd actually put him into A tier directly. Ishin, I'm also gonna have to bump him into A tier. He's got a 50% bruiser with a 25% normal attack damage string, but he doesn't really do anything with his kit. Also has the same problem as Ganryu, where he doesn't have any good crowd control with his strong attacks, thus kind of hindering for the most part to be used as a link. But that being said, he is not a bad character overall. He's pretty good. Cat Yoruichi, it's another strange character. What were you guys expecting? Past Lisa. Now that being said, she is a pretty good range character. Like she's got a good first strong attack. Second strong attack is a crawling vortex, and her third is full screen. Now that being said, only her first strong attack inflicts paralysis, and the other strong attacks don't inflict anything more. But that being said, I'ma have to bump her into moment of truth. I'm gonna have to bump her to S tier. She's pretty good. She's kind of outdated, but she's still an amazing character. Valentine's Day, Yoruichi, on the other hand, only a couple of her strong attacks inflict any sort of debilitating status ailment, thus kind of hindering her. But that being said, she's got a good kit. She has 4 flash taps. I'm gonna have to bump her to S tier. She's got a good kit. Movie Toshiro, he is also a pretty good character. So also I'm gonna have to put him into S tier because he's got a good kit. That being said, his third charge strong attack, he's got a good kit. He's got a good SP. He has debilitating freeze on everything. Next up is Cacao Society Tsukishima, or White Day Tsukishima. Now, where am I gonna bump him up to? I'm gonna have to bump him up all the way up to S tier. Just because of the simple matter that he is a good normal attack damage hybrid unit that has a 40% bruiser with a 20% normal attack damage link, 40% berserker with 730 attack and a 660 SP, and to top it all off, he even has bombardment and weakening on all of his attacks, making him that much of a really good co-op character to bring into Inheritance Zone, Droplet Zone, whatever works. And the fact that he is a human really works out a lot. It really works out a lot. That's how good he is. 1000 Year Blood War Rukia. S tier. S tier directly. She's good. First strong attack is great. Second strong attack, kind of meh, kind of iffy, but it still works. And her third is full screen. She's a good character. She has debilitating freeze on everything with freeze immunity. She gets the job done easily. Now, Marechio Omaida, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put him into A tier. But that being said, he has a decent kit. He has he can boost himself. But that being said, the only reason you're gonna be even using this character in the first place is really just because he has a crystal link. That's all there is to it. Kokuto, easily S rank. Easily S rank. He's got one of the best kits in the entire game, with his first being a lounge attack, second strong attack being a really good widespread attack that can cover a lot of range, and his third strong attack, while it isn't full screen, it does attract enemies from behind, gathers them all into one spot, and explodes. Kokuto is literally made for being able to use in Inheritance Zone, Droplet Zone, Extreme Co-op, and Guild Quest for that matter. That's how good he is of a unit. One of the best Soul Reaper killers in the game, and is a must-have. Swimsuit Soifun, I'm gonna have to bump her into A tier because she's got a good kick, good crowd control, but she doesn't really do much. Shinkaizen, well, come on, I saved the same opinion as last time. He doesn't have Frenzy, but he does heal himself, but he doesn't have Killer, so yeah, that's where I'm gonna bump him up to. Manga Yoruichi, I'm gonna have to bump her up into S tier. She's by far one of the best speed characters in the game. Actually, overall best speed unit in the game. That's all there is to say about this character. Now, Tag Team Mikaku, easily S tier, because he's basically like Tag Team Retsu, but only difference is that he has barriers. He doesn't inflict any status ailments, but he does have barriers, full stamina damage boost, Frenzy, a higher SP than Retsu, and has Soul Reaper and Oranka Killer, and there's range, so making that much of a really good unit. Now this Riruka right here, they gave her justice when it came to doing her remake, but that being said, she is not the best character. Like, the one thing that kind of really makes her iffy is her first strong attack. Like, it doesn't cover a lot of range, and you gotta aim for it. Like, why do I gotta aim for my first strong attack? Like, what the hell? But that being said, her second and third strong attack is good, so she does at least get the place for A rank. That's for sure. Chad, easily S rank. Easily S rank. He's got Flurry, he's got Poise, he's got boost with Enhancer, making him a really amazing character to bring into co-op. Like, that is how good he is. And yeah. Now even though he doesn't have debilitating paralysis, his first, third, and special all have the chance to inflict paralysis, which can make for really clutch moments in co-op, being able to stop the enemy from doing strong attacks and be able to save your team. Cacao Society Yin, on the other hand, I'm gonna have to pump him up all the way up to S tier. Now the reason why is because he, just like Kokuto, he has Soul Reaper Killer, but he is by far one of the best healers in the game. Like, he's got Frenzy, he's got debilitating burn on everything, and it's just an overall great unit. Now that being said, he is not summonable at this moment because he is a seasonal character, but he is pretty good. Lilinet, D tier. D tier. That's all I'm gonna say about Lilinet. I'm sorry, guys. Now this Sajin right here, he is good. I will say this much. He is good, but is he S rank worthy? Not really, just because of the fact that his soul trait is Last Ditch Survival, which kind of does hinder him. But that being said, he's got a really good kit, so I'm still gonna have to bump him up into A tier. He's got Poise, he's got debilitating paralysis on everything. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna have to say for this man. Up next is this Shinji right here. I'm gonna be honest, I'm also gonna have to pump him up into A tier because even though he is a Soul Reaper killer and has the same mechanic as Yoruichi, where when she transforms into a special, her kick does get resetted. He does have the same thing going for him, just like Yoruichi. But the main problem is the fact that he is really slow compared to Yoruichi. Like, it's not as fast, and yeah, you're just gonna be doing pure damage. Plus the fact that his soul trait is a damage reduction link of 20%. Really does not help him. Like, it just doesn't. I'm sorry, guys. Like, if you guys get this Shinji, and if you guys already have the likes of Kokuto, Gin, and any other Soul Reaper killer that for speed that is available, I'd honestly use him as a link for Chad. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't think highly of this character. Quincy Ichigo, good character, good kit, missing killer. He's got no affiliation killer, so it kind of does hinder him. But that being said, he's got 14% recharge on his soul trait. He's got Frenzy. He's got debilitating weakening on everything with freeze immunity. He's a pretty good character. And he'd be one of the best ranged characters in the game if it weren't for the fact that he has no affiliation killer and the second strong attack being somewhat lackluster. So that's where I'm going to bump up Quincy Ichigo. If he had the likes of Soul Reaper killer, Aranker killer, or Hollow killer, he'd make it into S tier. But the way he is, because he does not have the same thing going for Ulquiorra where he boosts and gives himself barriers to compensate for the lack of killer, he's unfortunately going to stay in A tier. But yeah, up next we have Cacao Society Momo. Now, if it were me, because she lacks debilitating status ailments, I'd actually put her into B tier, but she deserves her place into S tier, just because of the simple fact that she has a much faster kit than 1000 Year Blood War Rukia. She has weakened defense on her special. She has a really good charged third strong attack that is semi full screen, and when charged up, it just hits way harder and becomes full screen. She is an amazing character. I'm glad I pulled her because she is by far one of the best Valentine's Day characters in the game that you can pull right now alongside Cacao Society Soy Fund. That's how good she is. Up next we have Renji. I'm gonna have to put him into A tier. I'm gonna be honest here because the reason why I bump him into A tier is because the simple fact that he has Hollow Killer, he has really good kit, he has Frenzy, but here's the thing. His kit is way slower than 1000 Year Blood War, Shunsui, and it's just not that good. Like, he is very good as a support unit for Guild Quest and can do pretty much a good amount of damage in co-op, but his kit is what really hinders him. Like, his first strong attack, okay, it's alright. Second strong attack is meh. Third is full screen, but yeah, he's not that much of an amazing unit, if I do say so myself. Cacao Society Byakuya, S tier, easily, because now he's S. Now he also has Soul Reaper killer, but he has the same thing going for Shunsui, where his second strong attack can almost insta kill the enemy and has a really high magnification. Only thing is, hold on, he has debilitating paralysis on everything with paralysis immunity, making him an even better character than Kokuto when it comes to bringing him into Inheritance Zone. But that's really only personal preference, really. Like, your opinion can differentiate. Like, you guys may think Kokuto is better, and you guys be right. Sometimes you may think Byakuya is better than Kokuto, and you may be right. In the end, it really all comes down to comparing the units altogether. Now, this Aizen right here, I am gonna have to put him into S tier easily, just because he has an 80% bruiser. He has really amazing crowd control, and to top it all off, he even has a 20% normal attack damage link, which automatically equals to having Flurry with Soul Reaper killer, making him a really good normal attack damage unit to bring into co-op, Inheritance Zone, and is an overall beast at auto, concerning his kit has Vortex, has built-in paralysis on everything, and it's just an overall good character. Kisuke, this past Kisuke on the other hand, don't get me wrong, compared to the hard version, he did quite the justice on him. Like, his first strong attack is not range collision. That's good, so it hits everything from behind, but the problem with this Kisuke is that his first strong attack is not as good as Red Aizen. His second strong attack, you can miss easily. His third is okay, even though it's not full screen. So, what am I going to bump him up to? I'm going to bump him up to A tier. He is good, but not as good as the likes of Manga Rukia, Cacao Society Momo, or Halloween, or Yukime. Not that good, I'm afraid to say. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Like, it's been a really good while since I last have done a tier list for this game. And that being said, I will continue to do more tier lists even after I'm done with all the attributes. Just that I'm gonna have to think of ideas like what to do with seasonals and whatnot. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.